Gastrointestinal tract animations of circular and longitudinal smooth muscles. So this is a form in which the smooth muscles is relaxed, and this will be the form in which the smooth muscle is contracted. So now you take a look at the difference between the shape of the relaxed form and the contracted form. So in this view, okay, you can see that the length of the smooth muscles is longer in the relaxed form than the contracted forms, and the width of the smooth muscles is longer in the contracted form than the relaxed form. So straight away move on to the actions of the smooth muscles, the circular smooth muscles, the inner circular smooth muscles, and the longitudinal smooth muscles. So of the GI tract. So there is an exception with stomach, because stomach we have another layer which is the innermost oblique smooth muscles layer. But in our discussions, we would discover the actions of the circular muscles and the longitudinal muscle. So this picture shows you the inner circular layer of the smooth muscles. So as you can see, the circular muscles, they form a constriction ring around the gastrointestinal tract. What do I mean by here is that the circular smooth muscles is defined by the way they are arranged around the lumen of the GI tract. So let's take a look at this. So we have a foot. So this is a yummy donut. So we have a foot bolus. So let's say this cylinder is an esophagus. So you have a foot or donut entering. So to be specific, should be the foot bolus. Foot bolus, a circular shaped foot bolus. So a circular shaped foot bolus is entering our esophagus. So in order to propel the foot forward, what should the circular muscles do? Remember, in this case, we are focusing on the circular muscles. Okay, so we neglect the longitudinal muscles just for a while. So let's see what does this circular muscle do in order to propel the foot bolus forward. Remember, circular muscles actions and longitudinal smooth muscles actions are antagonized to each other. So let's see. So in order to propel the foot bolus forward or downward in this case, so what should you do with the circular muscle? The circular muscle should constrict. So as the circular muscles constrict, they form a constriction ring around the gastrointestinal tract. So the circular smooth muscle layer, they constrict. So they constrict, and what happens is that the length of the circular muscle is shortened, and you can see the width is increased. So they constricted the part behind or above the foot bolus in this case. So in order to propel the foot bolus downward, how about the downstream part? So for the downstream part, this will be the longitudinal muscle actions. So remember, in order to propel the foot bolus forward, the circular muscle layers are stimulated to contract, while the longitudinal muscles are inhibited to contract. So in this case, in order to constrict the part of the lumen, circular muscles contract, longitudinal muscles, the outer longitudinal muscles layer, relax. Okay? So how about the downstream path? In order to allow the foot bolus to enter the downstream path, the lumens of the gastrointestinal tract must be dilated to allow the foot bolus entering the downstream path. So now Let's take a look at the longitudinal muscle. As you can see from here, longitudinal muscles is defined by the way they are arranged. They are arranged longitudinally alongside parallel to the length of the cylinder in this case. So, in order for the lumens to dilate, what should the longitudinal muscle do? The longitudinal muscles will contract. So, the downstream path longitudinal muscles are stimulated to contract, and these contractions of the longitudinal muscles causing the dilatations as shown by the two arcs there of the lumens, opening or allowing the lumen size to increase, to dilate. So as you can see from here, the longitudinal muscles, they shorten, and you can see the width of the longitudinal muscles enlarge, pushing the lumens to open it. So in this case, longitudinal muscle is contracting, but the circular muscles remain relaxed. So these circular muscle layers are inhibited to contract. So this is how the lumens of the GI tract opens up further to allow the food bolus to propel downward. Okay, so these cycles of propelling the food is known as a peristalsis. This action, sorry, okay?